A strange, unexplained incident took place in Northern California, and this is shared by Peter Mandeville. He says, there's an incident that one of our readers decided to share with me, and with his permission, I've decided to share it with you. It's not the first reader who shared a similar type of incident either. It really makes you think UFO, paranormal, or something else. At the very least, I hope this makes you wonder. This is an incident that happened to myself and my mother in 1980, he says. It was on a Friday about 4 p.m. My brother was working at a job in a city called Menlo Park. It was just across a toll bridge from where we lived. At that time of the day, there was always numerous cars, especially on a Friday. I remember my mom asking if I would accompany her to go and pick up my brother from work, as she did not want to go alone, so I agreed and we sped off. I remember back then it was a 2-lane road that led to the toll bridge. I recall pulling up the toll taker booth and paying the toll. We entered the toll road to the bridge where I live in Northern California's San Francisco Bay Area. It's always populated and has many cars. Well, as I said, we were entering the toll road up to the bridge. It usually took about 10 minutes to reach the bridge from the toll taker area. We noticed that on that day, there were no other vehicles on the bridge road in either direction. Strange, but we didn't really linger in the thought about it. We kept proceeding towards the bridge when my mother noticed in her rear view mirror a single headlight. We thought it was a motorcycle, but the light was not bouncing up or down like on most motorcycles at speed. It was approaching fast from behind us. As it neared us, it grew larger until it consumed the whole car. Back in 1980, the bridge named the Dunbarton was still a manned bridge, which meant that there was always supposed to be a lift operator that would raise the bridge up when large ships needed to cross, as this bridge crossed over a narrow channel of the Pacific Ocean Bay Area. So we were starting to cross over when the light overtook our vehicle. I remember looking at the booth where the operator was supposed to be, and we were not going anywhere. The car was still operating, we could feel the tire spinning, but we were not moving any further. I recall looking at the speedometer reading 55 miles an hour, and still we were not moving forward. The light passed through the car, and in an instant we were again moving across the bridge. Remember, I said earlier that we were going to pick up my brother from work. This is where things become even stranger. Neither myself nor my mom could recall ever picking up my brother. In fact, remember I said that we left to pick up my brother at 4 p.m. When we finally returned home, it was well after 10 p.m., and my brother was not with us. What happened to all that time? I don't know. My father asked us where we were all that time, but we had no recollection. In the months that followed, strange things occurred. Things such as airplanes constantly flying over and circling overhead, and there was an extremely bright star that shone down that we do not even remember noticing before. There was nothing about the star in the newspaper or on the TV. My mom started calling it her friend. I remember pulling out a tiny sliver of metal from my arm just to have it reappear the next day. And one day years later, I pulled out the sliver and it never reappeared again. Since that day, I have always felt a connection with the night sky, never sure why. I reluctantly tell you my account because, let's face it, no one is going to believe it, and it would only lead to ridicule. I'm not saying we were abducted, but I still don't know what happened that day back in 1980. The lost time, the weird slivers, and that bright star that always felt like it was watching us. P.S. This is a true account. This by Pete Medville, and the image with the headlight is only a representative purpose, not associated with the incident shared here. And please leave your comments. This is from Bended Reality. Very strange indeed. This happened in 1980. So what was this? Was it a UFO, extraterrestrials, hallucination, some kind of hypnosis of a team of people? Was it a parallel universe? Was it something of an abduction that wiped off their memories and had lost time of 6 hours? Who knows? Please leave your comments. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.